Good morning, friends. Anne here. Got my cup of coffee, got the Word of God, and today's reading is from Zechariah. We are reading chapters 5 and 6. Friends, we're reading through Zechariah. We're hearing that he is having these visions and that God is revealing things to him. In chapter 5, we have a flying scroll that symbolizes God's judgment on those who are breaking the Ten Commandments. Then we have a woman in a basket, and that woman symbolizes all of the evil that has been going on in the land, and they're like closing up that chapter and closing up that evil, and they're sending it back to Babylon, and Babylon is going to worship that evil. Then we have this vision of 4 chariots. They are different colors, but the thing that I want us to note is that this next one is the crowning of Jeshua. I want to read a passage of this of chapter 6, and then we'll talk about it. It says this in verse 9. Then I received another message from the Lord. Heldai, Tobijah, and Jedediah will bring gifts of gold and silver from the Jews exiled in Babylon. As soon as they arrive, meet them at the house of Josiah, son of Zephaniah. Accept their gifts and make a crown from the gold and silver. Then put the crown on the head of Jeshua, son of Jehozadak, the high priest. So if you remember, Joshua, another word for Joshua, was the priestly ruler that God was sending to come and begin to get his people back in a right relationship. But then we had Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel was kind of the civil leader. So we had the priestly spiritual leader, and we had the civil leader. And now he is saying, Zechariah is hearing and seeing this vision, that he is to go and put this crown, which is a sign of civil authority, on the head of the priestly ruler, Jeshua. And let's listen here for just a moment. Tell him, this is what the Lord of Heaven's army says. Here is the man called the branch. Now, here's the thing that we need to know about Old Testament prophecy. Whenever we hear about the branch, and this is capital B, not just a branch of a tree, but the branch, it is referring to the Messiah. There are so many other passages in the Old Testament that refer to Jesus, the Messiah, as the branch. So Jeshua, is a symbol not for himself becoming king, but for Jesus, for the branch. And it says this: he will branch out from where he is and build the temple of the Lord. Yes, he will build the temple of the Lord. Then he will receive royal honor and rule as king from his throne. He will also serve as priest from his throne, and there will be perfect harmony between the two roles. So you may say, what is all this talking about? Okay, here's what I want you to understand. Whenever we hear Jesus being talked about in this way, we hear that Jesus is going to rebuild the temple, a civil matter, right? A civil governmental matter, that he is rebuilding this structure that was lost. And then we hear that he is going to rule, that he is going to be a priest as well as a ruler. And friends, this is the beautiful thing, that in Jesus, and only in Jesus, not in Jeshua, son of Jehozadak, not in Zerubbabel, not in anybody else, but in Jesus and only Jesus do those two roles come together. Jesus is both our king and he is our high priest. He is both in civil authority in the kingdom of heaven, and he is also in spiritual authority in the kingdom of heaven. Friends, if we try to rely on anybody else to fulfill those two roles, we are going to be disappointed, because friends, that is a role that only Jesus fills. Jesus is both king and high priest. Have a good day.